They took the lights, but I have to continue with the natural lights I have. So now, these straight lines, like I was trying to explain, is very essential that you need to master it, right? So just try to follow the procedure or the processes I have just explained here. Draw lines, use a machine, thread them, and then try to thread the fabric without drawing any lines or marking any lines, and see if you'll be able to achieve this. Now, having known or having seen this, now the next you are going to do is curvy lines. Curvy lines. Now, these lines could be an arc, that's C, could be an angle, could be a star-like, could be irregular shapes. So this is curvy lines / irregular shapes. Now, the reason I have to explain this or bring this up as well is because most tailors find it difficult to sew curve, especially when they are sewing the neck of your outfit. Like when you have a facing or a back queue or a front queue, you want to turn the neck. Some tailors find this difficult to thread 1/4 of an inch round the neck edge. So this goes a long way to alter the actual fitting and measurement you have projected when you were drafting. So when you're able to master how to stitch lines like curve this way from up to down, from down to up, some lines like this, irregular shapes, it can even be a star. You can even draw a star and use your machine and thread it all through that way. Now, the reason for you to also master these shapes, you can even draw an S, a V, anything at all, irregular shapes that you can control. Now, the reason for you to do this is for you to be flexible so that your hand can be flexible enough to control the fabric, and your shoulder should also be flexible to turn on the machine, because there are some lines you can meet on sewing. You will not be able to turn your body the way you should, because your body language goes a long way as well to control the fabric. If your body language is so static, you might not be able to control all of these things like it should. So a professional should be able to use one hand to turn your neckline, to join lines that are curvy or any shape or any form at all. So this goes also on the crotch of your trousers, on the neckline, even on some pockets, especially when you're doing curvy pockets and you have also drafted out the curve. So you should be able to maintain that same nature of curve you have, drafted out. So curvy lines are very essential. Please note all of these things and it will help you go a long way. Now, another area to note is on maintaining measurements. How to maintain a measurement. For example, you agreed in your drafting to use 1.5 to fold a certain area, let's say facing, sleeve, hem, or anything at all. And when you are sewing, you now decide to change your folding measurement. Remember that in drafting is when you have already calculated or programmed the measurement of folding. So if you change it in sewing, it will alter the finishing or the fitting that could have been achieved if you have maintained the measurement. So here we have measurement maintenance. Measurement maintenance, right? Now, this simply means that anything you have decided to use when you are drafting, as long as it's correct, please maintain it. On no account should you change it, except when you have found out an error or a fault in the measurement and you now wish to change, to correct it, or to add more value to it. Now, the next here we have will be the creation of some vital designs. For example, welt pockets. Welt pockets. Now, you and I know how difficult or how tasking this welt pocket might be to you. Welt pocket, right? That for the back pocket, and then for also the inner top breast pocket. Now, you and I know how tasking these things can be to you, and you know you don't know it. So you don't need to wait for you to have a work or a challenge on this before you start looking for solution. So what I will encourage you to do is bring a piece of fabric, make it a habit, create as many as welt pocket as you can create. Now, bear in mind, you can decide to learn or create the single mouth welt pocket or the double mouth welt pocket. Anyone you want to master it. Use it and be making your sewings for a while you now find time to learn or to add more value on how to do the double mouth welt pocket. So these things I am listing on the board now could be found online. So you can make your research to know how to master all of these things. So as an upcoming fashion designer or as an intermediate fashion designer, you don't need to wait until you encounter challenges before you go ahead in doing so. Now, the next we have is on zip fixing. Zip fixing. So this one will be welt pocket slash breast pocket, right? So it goes the same way for the top. Zip fixing slash fly. Now, zip fixing, we have more than 100 ways to fix the flap or the zip on our trousers. But you and I know that you have not mastered any one and you are still, battling with the best way or the best one you can master or use. So in this video, I want to encourage you to create time to learn how you can create or master zip fixing or flap fixing. Now, the essence of this is to make sure that you know how to fix your the zipper fly perfectly so that your shorts and your trousers will no longer have an issue on the fly or the zip area. Then here, number 6, you have invisible zip fixing. Now, when you are battling with or sewing a top that has an inscription on the chest region, the best option to use is your invisible zipper at the left panel of your at the left panel of your outfit, right? It's always on the left of your outfit. Now, the reason for you to always have your zipper properly fixed is because most designs comes and it needs that invisible zipper fixing. So if you don't know how to do it, you have ruined the finishing here. Be in mind, they have invisible zip that is meant for shoulder zip and not anyhow zip like some persons use regular trouser zips to fix on their shoulder, which is absolutely wrong. You must make sure you use the appropriate zip for every proper area or any region or any area. So invisible zip is solely meant for the shoulder of your outfit and some designs that has tiny zipper opening on the chest region. On no account should you use invisible zip on trousers, on shorts, except you are making it for a female where at the sides of the trouser you can put the invisible zipper for them. But for all male outfits, you have the general iron zip or the general trouser zip, and that's all you need to know. Now, having known that, now I will have to clean for me to bring in more topics, right? So having known this, now the next topic or the next area we are going to battle with is the collar. Right? That's the number 8, right? Or thereabout. This is the collar. Now, this collar comprises of shirt collar, camp collar, and bishop collar. Now, these 3 types of collar are solely used on unique areas. It could be on the regular shirt, like the one I'm wearing, or on camp collar, the one that has a folding front way this way, or the bishop collar for the round turtle neck. So learn how to do these things. Don't wait until you have challenges on them. Use your phone, use YouTube, search on how to make a shirt collar. You could search on my channel, you could search on any person's channel. I'm not against you learning from any channel, but just know that this video I'm making is for your own good and for your own learning sake. So when you deal with color, you won't have any issue again. The next one we have is on cuffs. Cuffs. Now, these cuffs could come on either cufflink or button shirts. The cuffs this way. Learn how to fix your sleeve on your cuff. Some person doesn't know how to pleat this pleating to face on the border plackets you will have. Some pleats face, they do make it to face frontwards, which is wrong. You should face downwards towards the bigger placket. So this brings us to cuffs, plackets as well, right? So these two comes together. Number 10 is flaps. Now, flaps for the chest region, not flap, that not for the trouser flap, for the top flap. Now, for the flaps, you have at least three types of flap, or four rather. Now, the first flap I will mention is the one you just place a border fabric on top that way without an inner smaller flap. So that one is called singular or single flap, where you just place a both fabric on top and stitch, where you use cloth gum, or you use facing to turn up the slit opening on your outfit. Use a border flap to cover it and put your pressing button or your fastener or your adjuster, however you want to call it. Now, this is called single flaps. Now, they have the conventional one, which is called double flap. Double flap is the one that has a bigger flap here and also have a smaller flap underneath, which I think I will bring my outfit. Let me bring one cloth here and show you so you understand. So now, these flaps are meant for your professional finishing, and also learn how to fix it. It will go a long way to help you. This I'm telling you is what you might pay hundreds of thousands to learn in a fashion school. But I am here showing you or telling you free of charge. Note them, make your findings, research on them. It could take you a month or 2 or 3, even 6 months to learn these things. But once you have learned it, you have upgraded your skill even without paying much money to anyone. So here we have the double flap right here. As you can see, this has a border flap in front and it has also a tiny flap in. It's called the double flap, right? Now, having known that, now the next we are going to deal on here is bias / piping, what some people call taping. Now, this taping is simply how you finish up the roundness of your neckline on your outfit, right? So how you finish up this neckline is what they call taping or bias. Now, you must know that you must cut your bias in what they call diagonal form. Diagonal form. Now, this diagonal form is solely the only way you can cut your bias, and it will lap round perfectly just the way it's lapping on this particular outfit. It must lap in this form as well. Now, if you observe, I've not made mention of the men bodies or the men block of the outfit. Now, there is one important thing as well I want to say before I go into the men bodies. Most designs you see on the internet or on the pictures share a particular pattern, like the main block of the outfit. The designs that you put on top are added, cuts or accessories or whatever you call it to make it look unique on its own. But the main panel, most of them, 90% of them share the same front panel. So you also need to master how to cut the basic block. The basic block / bodies or bodies, right? Now, this basic block / bodies serves you for you to be able to learn how to appropriately apply the neck circumference of your clients, the armhole, and the chest measurement. Because when you learn all of these other things I have listed and you don't know how to cut the main block or the bodies, you will still not get a perfect outfit. So learn how to cut, learn how to fold. Now learn the procedure of folding, which states that the folding of your fabric should come in line with your customer's chest over 4 plus extra 2 inches. Now this method I'm telling you now is the global method. Take it anywhere, you get the same result. The least you can see is extra 1.5 or extra 1 inch. But you should know that you must divide your customer's chest, which is the biggest part of the upper region. In some cases, if the customer or the client has a protruding stomach, you will use the stomach in folding the fabric. By so doing, having two values, the chest and the stomach or the tummy, being applied when drafting. Such cases, the cloth goes in an A-line form, unlike the regular straight form or the shaped area we have on the sides of our outfit. But currently now, I don't encourage shaping a male outfit. Many guys now prefer a very free or loose fit than the fitted nature we had some years ago. But however, you can still do what you find convenient or comfortable. Now, having said this, now when you have learned this, now please go ahead and learn how to draft perfect sleeve. Perfect sleeve. Now, I know why I said perfect sleeve. I didn't just say sleeve, I said perfect sleeve. Now, this sleeve could come either in short sleeve, three-quarter sleeve, or long sleeve. Please make a time to learn how to draft all of these sleeves: short sleeve, three-quarter sleeve, and long sleeve. Now, make our time to learn how to fold and draft, impute the measurements of all of these areas. Now, this is a breakdown of all you need to learn to be a professional fashion designer. Be in mind, like I said, these things might take you some months or even a year to learn, but if you can keep to this format I have shown you, you will learn. When you are done learning, or when you're almost done with this, your job will be almost equal with those that learned or that have been sewing, that have been in this field for like 5 to 6 years, because most of them that learned earlier on did not go in detail like the way you are going right now. So having known that, then you now go into the general finishing. Now, general finishing has to do with your fabric choice, your styling efficiency, your threadings, your ironing, and your packaging. Now, if you look at this outfit I just made, I have not really ironed this outfit for the final look, but you could tell from the finishing you are seeing that this outfit was well tailored. You can see the detailing in the pockets, right? So these things are what every tailor should learn. You could see the finishing of the cuff. You can see how relaxed this cuff is, even without proper ironing. It's still giving a neat job vibe, right? In as much as we don't have lights here, I'm making this video. So now, when you take your time to go through all of this, you will now know that you have a lot to learn. Now, the last but not the least is to know the appropriate gum and sewing accessories or tools or equipments to use, like the collar gum for the flap and the breast pocket region, the gum stay for your trouser band and pocket tip folding, the hairstay for the chest region of your outfits, your hemming gum for foldings, and your temporary stitching for your sleeve folding and baseline or your hemline folding. So I didn't just want to give you a bulky knowledge to learn, but if you observe, before you have learned this, you should have learned how to make a perfect top and a perfect trouser. And also, don't forget to learn the basic or the best method you could use to make your Trousers. Now, trousers, we have 3 to 4 um, patterns of drafting a trouser, but whichever one you can lay your hands on, please make sure you learn it very well till the very end. And you also make sure that you master it before you could change or add more patterns to the one you already know. Anyone you have learned already, please don't discard it. Instead, add more value to it or edit it to give you more fitting, unlike previously you do achieve. So basically, I have used this duration to explain to you in details how to approach fashion in another angle to achieve a perfect result. Also learn the machine control. How you match your machine is of great essence. It will go a long way to give you either back pain or no pain at all. So also helps in controlling the finishing you have on your outfit. On no account should you be scared of either manual or industrial. The both are good, but I would prefer and recommend to you industrial machine for a neater and faster output. So generally, I think I have covered a lot now. So if you have a question you wish to ask or entertain in the comment section, don't forget to drop it, ask your questions, and I will go ahead to either answer you or create a video to clarify you on more areas to go with your learning. I wish you all the very best. Don't give up. Keep on pushing your brand. All of us will get there, not at once, but definitely all of us will reach there. Everybody will be a boss, but not at once. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment, and share. Bye bye for now.